my first live stream. Sorry if it's jittery or anything. This is my first time setting all this up, so I'm going to answer some of your guys' questions. So, okay. I'm going to start with the questions first. First, I'll introduce myself. My name is Jessica. So I run the Canadian Bird Nerd live streams, and I do this from my home. So you can see I got the ground camera on our TV right now. I've been doing this for just over 2 years now, actually. I first started with a simple Nest Box camera, and I was shooting some ground camera stuff, and then I was watching the Cornell Labs, and I was watching Birdwatching HQ, and I actually talked to the Birdwatching HQ creator, and he told me about the cameras he used, and he actually helped me get set up with a new camera, and that was the first camera I have, the ground stream camera here. And it was originally set up in a different location than it is now. This is the first year I have it set up in the garden like this. I hope you guys can hear me okay. And then soon after that, I think it was maybe a month after that, I got the upper camera set up. And from there, I have been slowly growing. Funny story, I originally started this channel as Western Canadian birds. And for some reason, I don't know if someone was reporting my account or what, but that account got shut down. And the unfortunate part of that is I had so many clips and videos on there, and it was I think it was 2020 or 2019 account, and I would have been able to have monetization by now if I had that account. But then soon after that, they changed the rules to you having to have 4,000 view hours in order to get monetization, and they don't count live streams towards that, unfortunately. So I kind of got pardon my language, screwed over on that end of things, but I'm really, really happy with being able to stream to you guys regardless. I love being able to provide these cameras. I myself have learned a lot from viewing birds in my own backyard and from watching other cams around the world, and especially the ones in Europe. I never knew about many birds in Europe at all, so I'm really, really happy to see those cameras and making friends, of course. Okay, so I'm going to start with some of the questions I have here. I actually got quite a few questions, and I'm really happy that you guys engaged in this. So I'm going to start with, I'm sorry if I get your name wrong. It is a Russian name, and I did look up the translation of it, and I think it's Afim. So sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. So their first question is, how did you get love and care for birds, and was it a childhood hobby? Absolutely. Yes, it was. I've been in love with birds since I was a little child. My parents had bird feeders, my grandparents had bird feeders, and instead of being a little kid that would watch TV or anything like that, I was always staring out the window watching birds. And when I was out and I'd see a cat or going after a bird or an injured bird, I was always rescuing these birds and bringing them home. I'd be this little kid walking down the street with birds in my hand, and my parents just loved it. I was showing up with these injured birds at their house all the time. So I basically had fish and wildlife on speed dial when I was younger. So yeah, it's been a growing thing since I was much younger. So I'm really happy that I get to provide this kind of stuff now. The second question from them is, financially expenses are constantly required for the maintenance of feeders and feeding of birds. How do you deal with them? Maybe you need financial assistance. You could connect Patreon system or a sponsor button. So that is definitely the hardest thing about providing these cameras to you guys. Something I mentioned about myself, I live on disability. I have a chronic illnesses, and I can't work right now. So this is part of the reason why I started these cameras. Was it something that helped me more in my previous lifestyle of being able to work as a nurse. And I did this to bring me out of a depression that I was sinking in, and I knew what other cams on the internet were doing for me. And I just thought, I can't go outside hiking as much as I used to, and I want to bring the birds right to my backyard. So that's why I started these cameras, and I heard from so many viewers these cameras were doing the same thing for them. So being on disability, I do live at my parents' house right now. They help care for me. But yeah, being able to afford the seed costs, like right now I pay for the internet, and I bought the cameras and replacing parts when they break down, and bird seed cost just blew up. I am actually in shock. I used to be able to get a 20-pound bag of bird seed for about $30, like $25 to $30. When I went to the bird store last, it was $55. And I actually talked on the phone to the manufacturer, like the company that puts out these seeds, and he said that the reason why the cost has gone up is because of the pandemic. The companies are out of workers right now, so they're having to have workers that are working double shifts, like overnight and everything, to get this stuff out. So all these companies are increasing the cost, and by the time it gets to consumers, it is insane. Like, it is crazy. Like, the one bag of food was $40.99, and then when I went back to go get it, it was $55. And then I went back another time and it was $50. So it is like just jumping all over the place. So donations are hugely appreciated. Like, I put away a budget each month to try to afford the bird seed, but I was not expecting that jump in prices. That really put a damper on things. And this year I wanted to provide you guys with the Nest camera. So I did get a lot of donations for that Nest camera, and I am extremely grateful for that. You guys have no idea. I was in tears. Like, it was, I can't even put into words how thankful I am for that. And I actually was saving up too, because I wanted to provide you guys with another cam that faces towards the mountains to the west there. So that's why I moved feeders kind of over into the tree. Like, if you look in this camera, if you look in the distance there, you can see feeders hanging by the fence in the tree. I hang those for the little birds because they're kind of spooked off by the bigger birds. So I'm going to try to put a camera there facing that direction. So I actually did purchase that camera, and I'm still waiting for it right now. And I'm going to use the microphone that the deer took out from the bottom stump cam and try to work for that for now until I can save up more to replace that microphone. So luckily, like, I am doing the study that's going on right now, and they are going to be paying me for it at the end of the study for that. So I probably won't see any of that until August sometime. But if you do want to donate, I have a link in the description boxes of all my live streams, and should be in most of my clips that I make. I use PayPal right now. I don't have a Patreon set up. I'm not sure how Patreon works. I think you like, if you do Patreon, I think you have to like offer something to buy. I'm not very familiar with it all. So I'm answering your questions right now. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. So yeah, there is a donation link in the bottom. Sorry if I'm taking forever to answer these questions. So your third question was, as I understood from the video in March of this year, you yourself build feeders and houses for birds. Is that so? If so, how did you discover these talents in yourself? So I've been a very creative person my whole life. I'm always like very creative with my hands. I literally got 100% in art class when I took it in school, and I first went to university for art and art history and archaeology. I've always been really good at that, but yeah, I've always been a very creative person, and I found my outlets with that, and I found that I was really good at creating things with wood and other things. I have the ability to think of something I want to make, and I can picture it in my head, and then I can picture all the parts that I'll need for it, and somehow I can put it on paper and I can make it work. And as soon as I put it to work, it works. So I created the chalet feeder that you guys see on the top camera. Actually, what the bird feeders hang from. My boyfriend and I made an arbor that all that hangs from. Yeah, all the rest of the stuff you see, other than the plastic tube feeders and whatnot, I've managed to make it all, and I come up with more and more stuff. Sometimes it doesn't work, but I try it. But yeah, I love creating things. I built a catio for my cats and it works really good. Actually, just this week I put in a screen with a cat door in it for the cats to go in and out, so that's really neat. But yeah, I love creating stuff, and for a while I was building smaller versions of my chalet feeder for people to buy, but I ended up getting really sick and I was having to go to the hospital a lot, so I wasn't able to do that. I'm still kind of recovering. I'm in a study now for my condition. I'm going to be in a university study. So hopefully by the end of this, we're going to have a medication that's going to really help my condition and will get me kind of back on my feet, that maybe I could work again or do something. Next question. I hope that answers that question. How do your parents feel about helping birds, as well as what is the reaction of the neighbors when birds are constantly shouting and singing near the house? You know what? I am like super surprised when we had all those starlings. I'm not joking. We probably had over 50 to 55 starlings coming. And that was a huge shock for me because last year, I would say we only had a handful of starlings. And I was sure that my neighbors were going to get ticked off. And I make sure I go out there almost every day and clean the bird poop off and make sure that it's not like all over their yard and stuff like that. The only complaint we ever had from our neighbors to the west was we had peanuts in shell that we're feeding the squirrels and the blue jays, and they would sit up in the tree and eat these peanuts, and the shells would fall into our neighbor's yard, and their dog was eating them and getting sick. So that was the only complaints that we have had, and that all the squirrels that were coming and driving their dogs nuts. But I stopped feeding those in-shell peanuts. And I haven't had a problem with them since or anything like that. And like, I'm more than happy to accommodate those kind of things. Like I have live cameras with microphones sitting here and they haven't complained once. I have signs on the fence that say, like, you're being filmed on live camera, your audio is being recorded, and you give permission if you choose to be near them and whatnot. So other than that, yeah, I haven't had any real complaints. We've had workers come in the yard and we tell them right away that they're on TV and on YouTube, so they're aware of it. We never make it not known. My parents love it. I actually talked to my mom last night about this. I'm like, how do you feel having like the bird feeders and bird cams? And my mom says she really likes it. She's always loved feeding birds and she's always had bird feeders up regardless if we had cameras or not. She really likes it. It's the only thing she complains about is the mess. So I've built numerous things to clean up the mess and catch the mess so it's easier to clean, which is working pretty good. And I have that new product that we're trying out to clean up the seed mess on the dirt and whatnot. If you give me a second, I'll go grab it and show you it. So this is it. It's called Seed and Hull Digester. I don't know if it's backwards for you guys. It's all natural products. It's safe for animals, humans, kids, everything alike. And it's just got natural enzymes in it. And it's supposed to help break up the bird droppings and seeds and whatnot on the ground in the hulls. So yeah, I'm trying this out. You can use it in bird houses as well for all the bird droppings in there. So yeah, I'm trying this out. We had a little bit of a smell going for a while, but you know what? I used it once and I've already noticed a huge difference. So I've just had this up for a year and it's been, like I said, it's always experimentation of what's going to work. And when I first started it, I thought it would look nice sitting on some lava rock, but then the lava rock got full of seed and I wasn't able to rinse it off very well. So that's where I came up with this net design here. And it works really good. It catches the seed and it isn't wasted. Well, most of the time it's not wasted, and the birds can go down there and eat and whatnot. So yeah, that's been really good. Other than that, yeah, we haven't had any complaints really. And most people can't even tell we have them in the yard. We have lots of trees and stuff like that. In the future, I might move one of the cameras to a different location just so we can get a different variety of birds, but I'm still thinking long and hard about that. I've been thinking for a while, but we'll see how things go from there. Okay, next question. How do you see your channel and support for the birds at least in a year? I guess that kind of touches in on the last thing that I was saying. I might be moving away from here. So I've been trying to think about where I would move to, and I'd take one of the cameras with me. I really want to bring a bigger diversity of birds to the feeders, because I do find we are limited to the type of birds that we are getting here. Just because we don't have a lot of spruce trees or pine trees around us, we're limited to the birds that we get in the winter time. I'm sure if you've been a long time watcher, it really slows down in the winter. So yeah, I want to bring, I've even been thinking of talking to bird conservation places and wildlife conservation places to maybe bring one of the cameras there. I think it'd be a really great idea. I already talked to one. He wanted to set up a camera, but I haven't heard back from him. So I know budgets are really, really tight right now for most people. So I can understand if he's really busy and can't afford it right now. But yeah, for any year, I'd really like to have at least one of the cameras, might be like the top camera, moved to a different location for you guys, so we could potentially see a bigger diversity of birds. Yeah, I hope so. Like I would love to work with bird conservatories or anything like that. I'd really like to have my hand in something like that. But yeah, it's like, it surprises me every year what comes new to this. Like CBC, which is Canadian Broadcast Company, contacted me last year for the first time about wanting to host my cameras on their website, and then TELUS this year, and then CBC again. So, and then I hear from chatters and I get emails that universities are using them, and yeah, like it surprises me each year how much growth there is despite what you're not seeing on YouTube. So I don't know what the next year is going to bring, but I'm really, really excited what possibilities there will be. And then the last question for this one is, what do your tattoos mean? Unless it, of course, is related to personal issue. I have the ones on my wrists here. Those ones are a personal one. I don't really want to talk about those ones. I hope that's okay. And then I have half a sleeve here. You can see it's a fox. And then there's a chickadee up there, another chickadee, and then just some peony flowers. So those are some of my favorite animals. And I also have on my side here a raven. So the ravens, chickadees, and fox are all my favorites. As you can see, I have lots of birds, like birds, two birds, lots of birds on the side here. So it's just, yeah, like the raven on my side here, there's a thing representing like a freedom and stuff like that. It's just, birds give me a sense of like freedom, kind of. So I guess that's what the bird ones mean for me. And then just having my fox and my chickadees just represents my love for those things, and the peony flowers, just having my favorite things on me. I will say, like the ones on my wrist, it says it takes courage. It just, yeah, it takes courage to live your life and have that strength to keep on going. So I'm going to move on to the next questions from Amanda. So Amanda, some of her, like, I'm not sure if she knows that the feeders are in my backyard, because she says, do you camp overnight or weeks at a time when you are filming? So The feeders are in my backyard, so I don't actually go out anywhere and film anything. I'm going to upload it soon. I have taken video at my boyfriend's family's cabin. We put out feeders out there at their feeders, and they get nuthatches, mountain chickadees, and hummingbirds, and different types of sparrows and whatnot. I'm gonna find that footage. I'm gonna put some videos up of that. Do you have a team with you for safety and to help you with equipment? So again, the feeders are in the backyard, so I don't do any of that. What about predators such as bears or mountain lions? Have you encountered them? Do you carry special items like flare guns or bear sprays? So funny question, or funny story, I should say. I did have a raven friend in the mountains that we would stop to every time on the way to the cabin, and I could whistle, and he would literally come flying from the trees and come out. He knew it was me. His name is Samson. And like we would get into the mountains. It'd be after work, so it'd be like, I don't know, 7:30 at night or 8 at night, and the sun's already going down behind the mountains. So I didn't know if stopping and calling for him this night, if he was gonna come. So I'm whistling. We get out of the car. I'm whistling. My boyfriend's whistling. And all of a sudden, I just hear him say, "Jessica, get in the car, there's a bear." Like, he literally said it that fast. I'm like, what? And then it clues in. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even look. And I go and I'm like scrambling to open the passenger door, and the car's locked. I can't open the door. And I'm like, open the door, and he opens the door. And I get in and I hop all 2 feet onto the seat. And I close the door and I lock it, and I look to my right. There's a grizzly bear standing 6 feet from me. Yeah. So that's my encounter with a bear up close, and you don't want to be, well, he didn't care. He didn't care at all. He was just sitting there munching on some berries on a bush. Yeah. So he didn't care. He's probably like, what are these people freaking out for? I don't care. So we sat there and waited a little bit until he moved on. Other than that, we see a lot of bears when we go out. Cougar, I haven't seen up close. I don't want to. Wolves I've seen. But like I said, the one animal I don't want to see is a cougar up close. Those are the ones you don't want to encounter. Bears generally won't give a crap, but cougars you do not want to encounter. Wolves, they'll leave you alone, but cougars will stalk you. Thinking what else I've encountered in the wild. Moose are scary too if they have calves. Other than that, they're really big. Elk, caribou, mountain sheep, goat. Yeah, I think a lot of people think Canadians are crazy because we'll go hiking in the woods where there's wolves and bears and cougars, which is also mountain lions, people call them, or pumas. And but we think of like Australia and being scared of their giant spiders and all their snakes, which, like, I don't like spiders or snakes. But yeah, if there's one animal you want to be scared of in the mountains, the cougar. So yeah, stay away from cougars. And then her other questions are, do you have special funding to help you with your filming or research? I touched on this earlier. I just get your guys' donation, or the study that we're doing right now, the research study we're doing right now, I'll get a payment at the end of the study. The first year that CBC had me on, they gave me a small check. And then TELUS will give me some money too when they have me on there. And that helps significantly. And then, have I been part of a group that's discovered any new bird species? No, I haven't. I would love that. I would absolutely love it. Those people that go out and catch and band birds, I would love to tag along with them. I really, really want to tag along with them. I think that'd be an amazing experience to see the types of birds that I haven't got to see. When I went out birding last time, I seen one new bird that I'd never seen before. Now I can't remember the name of it, but it was really, really nice. Getting to see a new type of bird, and yeah, I would love to see any new bird. I think anyone would. So when I get a new type of bird at my feeders, I'm like screaming for joy. So when I seen a lazuli bunting, I was like over the moon happy. So Okay, so now I'm going to move on to questions from Raquel. I don't know if you're watching, Raquel, but I'm going to answer your question. I saw that you were doing a mealworm versus grub study to see which was preferred by your birds. What were the results? I didn't have much luck with grubs, so I was wondering if you saw a difference. So the study's almost over, and you know what? I've thought that the mealworms have been more popular too. It's hard to say. Like when the starlings were all here feasting, they would just empty both feeders. They were just devouring it like crazy. But I was noticing they're emptying the mealworms first. So I do think the mealworms are a little bit more popular by by the skunks, though. The skunks like the grubs a lot more. But they'll eat both. Generally, they'll eat both. But I do think the mealworms seem to be more popular. So yeah. But the mealworms this year are really hard to come by. I have to wait like weeks to get them. So I have to order them online. So there are a couple times when you don't see the feeders out there. It's either because it's raining, and if the worms and stuff get any moisture in them, it skews the results, the weight, because I have to weigh them at the end of each day. And if it gets any moisture inside of those feeders, it's going to skew the results of what they weigh at the end of the day. So that, and I ran out of mealworms and I couldn't get any. So yeah, it's been fun. Last time I did this study was only for 2 weeks, so having it done for a month was definitely interesting. And they weren't expecting me to go through so many bugs, so they sent me like 4 bags of their grubs, and I went through it in a week. So they sent me like a giant box full of their grubs, so that's lasted now. Okay, and then next we're going to move on to Deborah. Okay, Deborah. She says, good morning. It's the afternoon now, but good morning, good afternoon. So which bird at your feeders has surprised you the most, i.e. behavior, habits, and smarts? I'm going to say, like, I know how smart crows are. Obviously, they're a part of the corvid family. But the one thing that surprises me is I thought that the crows would be super messy over like any other bird, but the magpies are 10 times messier than the crows are. The crows are they have like a lot of manners when they're eating. I was actually quite surprised. They just gently pick out the feed they wanted to eat, like other than pulling the suet jar out. But like I did find that the crows had a lot more manners than the magpies. The magpies are just pushing the food everywhere, flying off the stump. And that was another good reason to have the screen around the stump, is because the magpies were just sending the seed everywhere and wasting it. But yeah, that kind of surprised me. Chickadees, I haven't seen any this summer, which is surprising. They're smart in the sense that whenever I'd put up a new feeder or birdhouse or anything, they were always the first one to it. And they seem to have gone to it like within 15 to 20 minutes of me putting it up. So that kind of surprised me. They're always like curious cats. They got to go check out something right away. And then generally all the birds' behavior, which surprises me, is they'll have food in the stump here, as you can see. But if I go out there, and sometimes they'll just stay in the tree and wait for me to go back in the house. But if I go out there and don't touch that stump, they'll think that I put new food in it. Like, you know how cats are? They'll have food in their stump, or food in their dish, sorry. And then you'll just walk to the dish and pretend you put something into it, and they'll think you feed them. The birds are the same way. They're the exact same way, and you can hear them call in the distance, like, you guys, she's feeding us. Or like, if I'm out there cleaning the stump and it's empty, they'll think that I've fed them as soon as I walk away to like go grab something else. So yeah, they pay attention to me a lot. They recognize me for sure, and they can tell when I'm out there filling up the feeders. So that's surprised me a lot. The birds really, really, really pay attention to you. If you've been doing it for a while and they've been coming for a while, the birds really pay attention to you as a person. And I've heard that birds recognize faces and stuff like that. So I think that's probably surprised me the most. Can't think of anything else. No, I can't really think of anything else right now. I love all my birds. So Next question by Deborah. What one species has yet to make its first appearance at the feeders? Oh, all of them. The two birds that I want to see the most at my feeders are the pileated woodpecker. I know they're somewhere around here. I've seen one. One's come to the tree once, but not to the feeders. And I want to see the grosbeaks a lot. I want to see evening grosbeaks. Yeah, the grosbeaks, probably want to see them the most at my feeders, and I'm really surprised that I don't get any, to be honest. We get cedar waxwings in our trees all the time eating berries. Trying to think what else. I was getting a lot of sparrows last year, but I haven't seen them this year. It's really strange. There's not a lot of birds that I can think that are around that actually eat at feeders. So yeah, like I haven't had any wrens or anything like that, which I'm quite surprised. I know there's house wrens around. But yeah, I think, yeah, one of the top ones I want to see is the different types of grosbeaks. So, yeah. And then she asked me too, she's interested in my tattoos and the meaning of them. So yeah, I described that earlier. So that was the end of the questions that I got, I think. Let me check. I don't think I got any other ones. Sorry, guys, I'm just checking here. Does anyone else have any questions I can answer? I'm more than happy to answer them. Just checking here. No, I think, what is the most favorite bird and animal you've had at your feeder's yard? Okay, that was from Bird Lady. The fox. Definitely the fox. When I had the fox coming, it came once this year, but yeah, definitely the fox was one of my favorite. I love seeing the baby skunks that come. That's definitely one of my favorites. But yeah, you know, like it's really hard for me to answer because I love all the birds. I really do. I love everything that comes. But yeah, definitely the fox is probably my favorite that has come to my yard. And I'm actually quite shocked by that. We didn't think that we had foxes around. So that's what's really surprising about when you guys have like videos, like, or sorry, cameras in your yard feeding birds and whatnot. You're really gonna see what comes to your yard at night or during the day, and you never ever thought that you would see that kind of stuff. Like, so we were really shocked when we seen a fox in our yard, and we didn't have the gate open or anything. The little guy fit through a crack that big. So so I'm just going to look in the chat now for other questions. Let's see. Hi, Ken. See Ken. Ken's another bird channel, Ken Little. You guys can see his cameras. He lives in Alabama. He's got some really great cameras as well. Do I get red poles from Jake? Yes, I do. I get red poles. We usually see them in the winter. So they live up in the cold months, or cold areas, sorry, during the summer months. Red poles really like it colder, so they're living probably in their northwest territories right now. They're up there with the snow buntings and whatnot. So yeah, we do get red poles. Actually, you know what? Last year, the year before, sorry, 2019, we actually seen one later in the summer, which is very abnormal behavior. So he was hanging out with all of the pine siskins. So you will see the pine siskin migration, you guys. I've seen it at my house. We get hundreds of pine siskins at our feeders, and they can clean out a 20-pound bag, sorry, of sunflower seed in 2 days. That's how many we get. And then I notice when they're here and I go look at Ken's feeder cameras in a few weeks, they're at his. So I can slowly see the migration going south. And it's really interesting because I can watch Ken's cameras, Ken Little in Alabama, and then I can watch Scott's in Ohio. He's at the Birdwatching HQ, and I can see the birds slowly migrating back to Canada, and then I can tell when they're going to be here. So that's something really interesting to see. I really paid attention to it this year. Uh, what else do we have? Deborah, I'm really surprised that your cam subs are not considered. Yeah, I know, for monetization. It's frustrating for sure. Yeah, you have to have 4,000 viewer hours, and they take that from all the clips I make. So if you guys watch the clips that I make, that's where my hours come from. And they count it in 1 year, so it rolls back again after 1 year. I see the skunks in your yard at night with night vision. Yep, the skunks are coming pretty much every night now. You'll see them right up until the first days of snow in the fall. Your fox tattoo is awesome. Yep, thank you. I'm really happy with that. Let's see, what else do we have? Was there a lot of trial and error with what types of seed food you use with your feeders? Yes. Well, we've been feeding birds for a while, so we kind of knew what seed birds love. It wasn't more or less trial and error. It's trial and error with the mess. So I know that Blackwell sunflower seeds are very popular in the winter and most months, and we were getting sunflowers growing all over our yard, and my parents weren't too happy about that. So I had to build a lot of like catch nets and get the trays around tube feeders and stuff like that to just prevent a lot of the seed from growing in our yard and flower beds. So where it was trial and error was I was trying to find the seed that attracted the most birds, that birds all liked. And the seed that I have found that attracts the most birds and that they like the most is sunflower seeds, hulled, like just the hulled ones, and then chipped up peanut. So Spanish peanut, I just blend it in a food processor, and then I mix that together, and that is still to this day the most popular seed at my feeders. They just devour it. And then I'll add millet to it every once in a while when we have a lot of sparrows. I know people don't like sparrows, but one thing I will tell you is that when you have a lot of sparrow chatter in your yard, it'll be noisy. That attracts other birds. They're hearing birds feeding, they know that they got a food source. So they'll come and they'll be attracted to that. That's something that I 100% notice. So I don't mind feeding the sparrows. And feeding the sparrows isn't nearly as bad as when you have a ton of starlings, I'll tell you that. So I don't mind feeding our sparrows the millet. Yeah, and all of our animals, like all of the squirrels and deer and skunk, and all of them like that seed as well. So it has, like for summer and winter, it has a lot of protein source to it. So yeah, it's been super, super popular. And then I was putting it in my tube feeders for a while, but just for the summer, I'm sticking to just the chipped up sunflower seed. Excuse me. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question with that. We're also trial and errors the different types of suet and suet feeders. I'm really testing those out to see what the birds like. So I noticed that bark butter, I heard such rave reviews about it, and oh boy, yeah, it is very, very popular. So if you live in the States or you live anywhere near Wild Birds Unlimited store, bark butter, you guys, it is very popular and the birds absolutely love it. It is so great. You can just spread it on trees. You can spread it on anything. You can put it in a feeder. It's phenomenal stuff. So, you know, like my mom's up in Edmonton today. I might actually get her to get me some. I just reminded myself. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I'm going to be doing a video on the different types of seed that I use, and I'll show you guys up close and all the different types of feeders and the seed I use. I'll also show you how I clean my feeders. So I'm all about the cleanliness on my feeders. So I'm going to be doing that video very, 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 very soon. So don't wait to check that out. So what else do we got? I think I just answered my own question. Monetize depends on ads. So The monetization, to have monetization for your YouTube account, you have to have over 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 view hours. And those view hours are counted from video clips, not live streams, which really sucks. And then from there, you have to have a website and Google Ads or something like that. And then, so what happens there is then they'll start putting ads and stuff on your videos, like at the beginning of your live stream or on the clips, they'll run an ad or something. And then if you watch those ads, just watching them, I think I get some sort of payment from that. I don't know how it works, but I did get a notification from YouTube that they don't even care anymore. They're gonna start putting ads on my videos anyways. So if you guys have come to my channel and seen an ad before my live stream, that's just YouTube making money off of my stuff. So yeah. Let's see. Ken asks, are the pine siskins still in your area or do they migrate further north? So they stayed here until, I want to say maybe the second week of May, I think. And then they just left whoosh in a group. Yeah, they go up to like Northwest Territories. So they go up further north. I think they join up with, we get like snow buntings. I don't know if you've heard of them. They go way up into like the Arctic areas, but I don't think pine siskins go that far. But yeah, they're up in the Northern Territories right now. So they like it cool. They'll be back September. Yeah, they'll start coming back probably late August to September, and then they'll be here for a few weeks, and then they'll head down towards Yukon. Yeah, so I think when do they usually get to your place, Ken? Sorry, you guys, I'm just trying to find out migration questions. So true, starlings take over, yes. I didn't realize how bad. Oh, first year you got them, okay. Yeah, they'll take over your feeders, and don't, like, people say, oh, the siskins are taking over my feeders. Don't mind it, because they're not there for a long time. They don't stick around. They're definitely a migration bird, so they'll go stay way up north for months, and then they go stay way down south for months. So they don't like really stick around your feeders long in the central areas. So I don't mind feeding them. You just have to be very, very, very persistent in cleaning your feeders, guys. Same with your house finches. Any types of your finches or your siskins are considered a finch. Clean your feeders regularly. Like, I'm talking, when I have my pine siskins, I'll go out and clean all the perches almost every single day. They get conjunctivitis and, gosh, what am I forgetting? Salmonella. Pine siskins are known for having salmonella and then conjunctivitis around the eyes. So I'll clean my feeders probably every 2 days when I have my siskins here. And with the house finches, I'm cleaning the perches and the feeders weekly. Oh wow, 5 months. So that must be where they stay for wintering months then. It's Alabama, Texas, and all those areas, I'm guessing. So yeah, clean your feeders, guys. And I'm going to be trying something new with my bird fountain soon too, putting an additive in it to keep it clean. Yeah, in BC, which is British Columbia, the province west of me, they weren't letting anyone have feeders up for like the whole 2020 year because of the bad salmonella problems in pine siskins. So no one could put their feeders up. Yeah, so everyone was upset about that. What do I clean my feeders with? So it's really easy to clean your feeders. So what I do first is empty the feeders, of course. We get all the big seed off that I possibly can, scrape it off. And then I have a little bucket of 9 parts water, 1 part bleach solution, and I'll let them soak in there for a little bit and kind of scrub them off. And then I take them to the sink and rinse it off. And then I use soap and water afterwards, just a mouth soap, Dawn soap, to wash it further. And then I rinse it off really, really good too. So that's how I clean my feeders. That's how you sanitize them really, really, really well. And it's super important to do. Like, I have seen some sick pine siskins in my yard. I've had 1 or 2 die, and I've seen 2 or 3 house finches with salmonella and conjunctivitis as well. So I do know, I watched some videos of a woman that is purpose catching house finches in a northeastern state. I want to say she's in New York or something. And she's catching the house finches and banding them and doing swabs of their eyes and stuff and checking to see if they have conjunctivitis, just to catch the spread of it. So if you do live in the west or eastern states and you're seeing house finches at your feeders, please clean your feeders regularly, guys. So it's a problem right now, and they can spread that in their feces, and then they step on your perches and they're sticking their beaks in the feeders. So it's really important you're cleaning your feeder as well, because the bird population is drastically declined. And if you guys want to get, I was going to say earlier, if you guys really want to get into like the research side with birds, if you guys have bird feeders hanging in your backyard, every year, I think there's 2 times a year, through Cornell Labs, there's the backyard bird count. So you can watch your birds at the feeder for like an hour and count how many birds and what type of birds are coming to your feeders. And I think there's another one where it's like an all-day thing, and you do it for like a week long or a weekend long. I'm sorry, I don't know like the total thing of this, but you guys can all participate in this, and it goes towards checking our bird populations are on right now, seeing if the migratory patterns are changing. And, you know, like I looked at it a while ago, and I've already seen a huge difference in the populations of birds going down. And even they're noticing migration patterns are changing a lot. So that's something everyone can do. They can join in this research for birds. And I really advocate to keeping parks. In Alberta here where I live, the government wanted to allow corporations to knock down some of our forests for commercial use to make like resorts and stuff like that. And a bunch of people took a stand to that. Okay, I'm sorry, this cat, he knows whenever I'm on live video because he comes to join me. I'm sorry, this is Theo, everyone. So this is one of my cats that gets to go outside in our catio. He's not outdoor at all. He's gonna clean himself. So yeah, I was working with a gentleman who, he doesn't anymore, I don't think. They used to produce seed, and now he runs what they're called the carbon plunk parks. He also invented car chargers that are all over North America and Europe for electric cars. And so what these carbon plunk parks are, they capture carbon, and so when someone charges their car, the equal amount of carbon that it takes to charge that car, that's put into planting trees into these parks. So it's really, really cool. So yeah, I was supporting that. So everything I do, I want to try to do it green. I try to support local businesses. I look up the businesses and how they run things before I buy things for them. The top tray feeder on my camera, that was made out of recycled wood products. I try to buy recycled wood products if I can. And then all the wood that I use is leftover bits from other people's projects. So if people have scrap wood laying around their house, I try to go grab it to make my feeders if I possibly can. So yeah, everything I try to do is as green as possible. So I'm really into, getting into this bird stuff. I'm really into preserving wildlife, preserving the environment. So I do as much as I can with having my disabilities and whatnot. But if I could do it full time as a job, I'd be there. I'd be doing it. So does anyone else have any more questions? Yeah, the UCP government wanted to sell off our provincial parks. Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So, and now they want to dig for coal in these parks too. So not good. Not good. So climate change and all this 100 Fahrenheit degree. Yeah. So does it shift patterns? You know what was really insane? That hot temperature wave, like for those who don't know, or if you're watching this later, we had over a week long temperatures of hot weather, like almost into the 40 degrees Celsius temperatures here in Alberta, and we never get that. We'll get it very, very sparsely, but we don't get it for that long. So everyone was dying here. We were so hot. Literally, there were people dying in BC, and one town reached 49.7 degrees Celsius. It was like the hottest place like in North America. But I was surprised to see the birds were still coming to our feeders. Like every single day, like I was having to fill that stump up multiple times a day. And I was really, really shocked by that. So I really thought that it would slow down during those hot temperatures, and it really didn't. But now that the hot weather's over, it seems a lot quieter at the feeders. So I was surprised, like they have to fly open distance with not a lot of shade to get to my feeders, and I was really shocked to see them coming to the feeders. But with these hot temperatures, the only thing I could see changing is the birds staying here longer instead of migrating. And I did see that last year. When it doesn't get cold fast, the birds don't migrate as soon. I had a red-winged blackbird that missed the migration. He was hanging around here when it was freezing temperatures. So I think that's going to change with the weather and the temperature changing. I do think that will change the times that migrations are happening. So yeah, and we're getting really, really bad storms as well here in Alberta. If you're from Alberta, you definitely know. Yeah, Dwayne's talking here about the temperature. There's this town called Lytton, BC, and that was the town I was talking about that reached 49.7 degrees Celsius. Someone can convert that in Fahrenheit. I'm not very good with Fahrenheit. And soon after having these hot temperatures, their entire town burnt down. The whole entire town, like I think it was 90% of this town, everyone lost their businesses and homes. It's so upsetting, and I'm really sorry for those people, and I really hope that our community can come together to help them. It's unreal what's been happening up here, guys. Like, and yeah, I just see all over the news every day what's happening around the world, and it just kills me. And what really kills me the most is seeing forest fires, because when people see forest fires, they just think of all our forests are burning down, and it's terrible. But do you guys think of all the animals and birds nests that are getting lit up, and these fires are losing their homes? It's the first thing I think about is all the birds in these woods that are losing their homes. It's heartbreaking, and that's part of the reason I think that our bird population is declining, and people encroaching onto land and cutting trees down. And then, yeah, for a long time, people weren't feeding house sparrows because they were taking over feeders and such. But the house sparrow population is actually so drastically low, it's almost reaching the point of being endangered. So that's, especially in Europe, I've heard it's really bad. So it's time now to, I encourage everyone to put up a bird feeder, especially in the winter. Help our migrating birds, help your birds in your areas. Yeah. And I want to get more educated on these topics so I can help teach others. I don't have any actual professional education on this topic, but I would love to learn more and be able to educate you guys more. I would even love to sit down with ornithologists or people in these studies, like ecologists and zoologists, all these people, just to talk to them and ask their questions and be able to record it so you guys can watch and learn more, because I think it's really imperative that we start worrying about the future for our children and their children, of what's going to happen. So yeah, this conversation kind of went on a different topic, didn't it? Yeah, industrial activities is also causing coyotes to come into Edmonton and Calgary. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. My senior cat somehow pushed his way out of the catio a little over a week ago, and he doesn't go outside, and I haven't seen him since. So we do get coyotes behind our fence here. There is a video you guys can see that the coyote got rabbits right behind our fence. So there's been multiple people that have lost their cats recently, and I think the coyotes are moving into town getting our cats. So it's really upsetting. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to try to, I guess those are other videos. If you guys are interested, I'll try to find some ecologists or zoologists or ornithologists to sit down, maybe from the universities. I can maybe like Zoom or something, and we can make some videos and provide some more education for you guys if you're interested. I myself am very interested. I'd love to learn more about that. But I got 5 minutes left. So does anyone have any more questions I can answer? Thank you for the lovely comment, Ken. I really appreciate that. I love watching your channel as well. I'm jealous that you guys get raccoons. Yeah, biologists would be nice for sure. Yeah. So I will have this video up. You guys can watch it afterwards too. I'll leave it up for you guys. Also, if you guys are in Western Canada, my ground camera is on TV right now. I made a Raspberry Pi YouTube player with a screen so my cats have TV. It is only used to play your channel. They love listening and falling asleep to the sound of birds chirping. Aw, thank you. That's awesome. My cats love listening to you. Everyone loves the sound of the fountain too. I really appreciate that. I have no idea how Raspberry Pi works. Yeah, they love the squirrels. Thank you for watching. Before you sign off, thank you for this. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you guys for your questions. I'm really happy to answer them. I get lots of questions emailed to me too. So I always answer those questions as well. I'm more than happy to answer any questions on how my feeders are built. I'm never shy about helping you. I got a lot of questions on how my fountain is made, like a ton of questions. I don't know why. I just noticed, I think, yeah, my video is really jittery. Hey, sorry about that. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I hope I can put out more great content for you guys, and that new camera I'm hoping will come here next week, and I'll be able to get it set up for you guys. So I'm hoping for that. And we can watch, I know those little feeders over in the corner get a lot of finches in the morning, so we'll see it. Please email questions on a video fireside chat. Sorry, I don't know what that meant. Put email questions on the video fireside chat. Oh, like I can put them in the description, yeah. I hope I answered a lot of you guys' questions. So really, really happy to provide this. I've been thinking about doing this for a long time. So yeah, if you guys have questions on like the stump or the fountain, I'm more than happy to answer them. I'm actually making a new stump. I might be selling this one in the future. So I'm going to be making a new stump and might be selling this one. So, and I'm still waiting for the squirrels to use the new squirrel feeder out there. And the reason why I made that one is because the starlings and grackles and magpies figured out how to get in the jar, and they're eating all of the nuts and the squirrels weren't getting any. So I think of my squirrels, I felt bad for them. So I did have the lid open for that and it fell down. So I don't want that falling on any birds. So I'm scared to lift it up again. So I'm always thinking about the animals getting hurt out there. Okay, well, there's only a few seconds left. What happened to last summer's stump? Oh, I didn't treat it. I didn't have any epoxy on it, so it started cracking. And it was getting big cracks in it, so it was going to fall apart. So that's why I got this one. And I epoxied it and treated it so it can withstand all the weather. So yeah, I have another one that I'm going to be making, and I'm going to sell this one, I think. Not because I don't like this one, it's just because I have new ideas. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching my live Q&A. I might do another one in the future if you guys have any more questions. Yeah, I know. I haven't seen the squirrels go into the feeder. Not yet. I'm trying. All right, guys. Have a great day. Thank you so much.